Picture this. The very first World Cup in history featured a one-armed player, and he wasn't just a token participant. He was a hero who led his country to absolute glory. Imagine the championship. Match getting delayed because of a bitter dispute over the ball itself. National teams spending weeks drifting at sea just to make it to the tournament. And if a goalie shattered his bones mid-game, tough luck. There were 0 substitutions to save him. It sounds like a Hollywood script, but this actually happened at the 1930 World Cup. Today, we're traveling back in time to the first tournament ever to discover what soccer looked like in a completely different world.
I'm Ali, and this is Beyond the Game.
Let's dive into the details. We'll break down the 6 biggest differences and finish up with the legendary story of the one-armed player who struck gold. Difference number 1, the Battle of the Ball. In the 1930 World Cup final between Argentina and Uruguay, everything came to a dead stop. Argentina demanded, "We are only playing with our ball." And Uruguay fired back, "No way, we're on home turf and we're using our ball." Imagine a World Cup final being delayed over a soccer ball. In today's world, tournament balls are engineered in labs, charged up like smartphones, and packed with sensors transmitting 500 signals a second. But back then, FIFA's diplomatic solution was pretty bizarre. FIFA decided this: the first half would be played with Argentina's ball and the second half with Uruguay's ball. And the craziest part, using their own ball, Argentina finished the first half leading 2-1. But after the ball switch in the second half, Uruguay flipped the script, won 4-2, and claimed the first World Cup in history. Difference number 2, an invite instead of qualifiers. In 1930, no team had to compete to qualify for the World Cup. FIFA literally just sent out invitations in the mail. If you agreed, you played. If you passed, you stayed home. And because of how long and difficult the journey was, most of Europe refused to participate, leaving the entire tournament with just 13 countries. In total, only 3 continents showed up. South America brought 7 teams: Brazil, Argentina, Peru, Paraguay, Chile, Bolivia, and Uruguay. North America sent 2, Mexico and the United States, and Europe managed just 4, France, Belgium, Romania, and Yugoslavia. And the rest of the world, entirely absent. Africa, Asia, and Oceania didn't send a single time. Today, over 200 countries battle it out in a grueling 2-year qualifying war just to secure one of 48 spots. And get this, FIFA even has plans to push that number all the way up to 64. Difference number 3. Travel was an ocean adventure. In the modern World Cup, national teams fly in first-class private jets, packed with personal chefs and high-tech recovery suites. But back in 1930, players spent 2 full weeks out in the open ocean aboard massive steamships. They trained right on the wooden decks, slept in passenger cabins, and arrived in Uruguay in mid-July completely exhausted after traveling thousands of miles. This wasn't just a sports trip, it was a full-blown expedition. Difference number 4, no substitutions. Imagine a player getting injured just minutes after the opening whistle. What does a coach do today? He simply burns one of his 5 allowed substitutions. Back in 1930, the coach had 0 options. Substitution rules literally didn't exist. In the opening match between France and Mexico, the French goalie got injured. So one of the field players stripped off his jersey, threw on the goalie gloves, and took over in goal. And in the semi-final clash between the United States and Argentina, American player Rafael Tracy suffered a brutal injury and broken leg alongside a damaged knee. Yet in a heroic display of grit, he limped through the rest of the first half on one leg before finally stepping off in the second, forcing Team USA to finish the match with only 10 men. Difference number 5, no yellow or red cards. Today, we live in an era of millimeter-precise calls, VAR screens, and semi-automated offside tech. But back in 1930, if a player went in with a brutal, leg-breaking tackle, what actually happened? No yellow card, no red card. Simply because penalty cards weren't even invented until 1970, the referee would just scream at the player or verbally eject him with a wave of his hand. No modern technology could ever control. Difference number 6, the one-armed hero. Now, I'm going to tell you a story that if you saw it in a Hollywood movie, people would call it a total exaggeration. Castro, a player for Uruguay, lost his right forearm to an electric saw when he was just 13 years old. In today's era, even with all of our advanced sports medicine and physical science, it's practically impossible to imagine a player with a physical disability competing in the World Cup. But back in 1930, Castro's disability didn't stop him from shining. He didn't just participate, he scored his country's very first goal in World Cup history. And in the final, in the 89th minute, he rose up to score the fourth goal against Argentina, sealing Uruguay's first ever World Cup title. In a time without modern sports medicine or player protections, this man became an eternal legend.